We're in the gate. And they're off. Uncle Chili right on top with 32 Chunk keeping company and taking the lead. Two more back to Sologano, followed by Single More. And Hondo Crouch is 5 off the pace, which is set by 32 Chunk, opening up a length and a half. Now Sologano trying to move and engage as they come past the half-mile pole. These two are 1-2. Moving up on the outside is Single More to take that second spot. So now it's 32 Chunk and Single More. Single More pressing hard. Hondo Crouch is getting underway from the back of the field. He's just behind the heavy favorite Uncle Chili, who maintains a clear-cut third spot and is asked to get after the top pair. Sologano has dropped out. It's 32 Chunk and Single More. Uncle Chili outside of them, then Hondo Crouch, less than 3/16 to go, and 32 Chunk gets the best of Single More, opens up 3. In the middle, Uncle Chili is closing with big strides now, and Uncle Chili coming to 32 Chunk, and he's got him. Uncle Chili wins it going away by almost 2. 32 Chunk, Hondo Crouch, and Single More. We're in the gate. A little bit of movement from Heaven's Bolt. And now Ramayana. And they're off. Very clean start. Ramayana is out alertly. Peanut Butter Bomb is the fastest, and Heaven's Bolt moves up to take second. Emma G third, Wild Like the West, and Ramayana is now at the back, already 7 lengths off Peanut Butter Bomb, who moves into the first turn in front of Heaven's Bolt. It's Peanut Butter Bomb leading by half a length. Heaven's Bolt is second by a length and a half, and then it's Wild Like the West in third. Another 3 back to Emma G, who is then 4 clear of Ramayana. They move on to the backstretch, and it's the favorite Peanut Butter Bomb, leading the way with some mild pressure on the outside from Heaven's Bolt. 2 more lengths to Wild Like the West in third. Ramayana is underway on the outside of Emma G. That pair more than 6 lengths off Peanut Butter Bomb, who has passed the half-mile pole, leading by a head. Heaven's Bolt alongside. Wild Like the West in third. Ramayana fourth, and then Emma G. Rounding the far turn, Peanut Butter Bomb trying to shake away from Heaven's Bolt. Heaven's Bolt on the outside, and Peanut Butter Bomb, Wild Like the West, has had a good trip, makes the first crack at the top pair, and Ramayana is looming large too, swinging to the center of the course there at the top of the stretch. And here comes Ramayana on the outside after Peanut Butter Bomb and Wild Like the West in between. Ramayana, handridden under Mirko de Muro, gets a reminder now, is battling head-and-head with Wild Like the West. Ramayana too classy, and Ramayana defeats Wild Like the West. Peanut Butter Bomb finished third. We're in the gate. And they're off. Contrary Chieftain and Leia's Candy going out for the lead. Resemblance third in the opening furlong. Speed Grazy is next. Then Pass the Baton, Big Juanito. And after an awkward start, Maniatic is the distant trailer. Less than 7 furlongs to run. It's Contrary Chieftain and Leia's Candy. And Leia's Candy now takes the lead. Just in behind them, Pass the Baton is a bit eager in third. And down at the rail comes Resemblance in fourth. Speed Grazy is actually who I just called Pass the Baton. He's in the third spot. It's a gap of 5 to Big Juanito, then Pass the Baton, and another 5 to Maniatic. Leia's Candy comes to the half-mile pole, leading the way by a length and a half. Speed Grazy is in between horses, Contrary Chieftain, and outside of them comes Resemblance. 2 more, Big Juanito is asked to get closer, a length to the gray, Pass the Baton, and Maniatic has trailed throughout. Leia's Candy, less than 3 furlongs to go. leads by a long neck over Speed Grazy in second. Just in behind them, it's Resemblance, a 3-wide third. Down at the rail, Contrary Chieftain Maniatic is coming alive from the back of the field, making a 3-wide bid outside of Pass the Baton. They are at the top of the stretch, and the leader is Leia's Candy. On the outside, Resemblance in second. 2 more lengths to Speed Grazy in third. Maniatic keeps rolling down the center as Resemblance is head and head for the lead and taking over from Leia's Candy late. It will be Resemblance. That's a double for Tyler Bays, defeating Leia's Candy, Pass the Baton, and Speed Grazy. Dell will be the last one to load. We're in the gate. And they're off. Young Love is very quick. Shillfleet has some speed too in the opening stages. And then comes Tahini moving through along the inside. And Tahini comes after Young Love now. Those two vying for command. Tahini is quicker. Young Love is now a length and a half back second, followed by the heavy favorite Certitude, who's down on the inside. And I'm About to Go in the yellow colors is in fourth. Shillfleet is racing in between horses and Fast Giselle. It's a compact field that runs down the hill. And they're led by Tahini. It's Tahini in front by 2. Young Love is a clear-cut second, followed by Certitude on the inside of Shillfleet. Fast Giselle outside of them, and I'm About to Go. They have a quarter of a mile to run. It's Tahini who's been there throughout. Young Love in pursuit. Certitude has 3 lengths to make it 4 now with a furlong left to go. And it's Tahini still clear by 3. Young Love trying to reel her in. Shillfleet on the outside. And Certitude. Certitude kicking in after Tahini now. And here comes Certitude. Certitude and I'm About to Go blows by them all. A terrific kick from I'm About to Go to beat Certitude right on the money. Third between Tahini and Shillfleet. Mono's Magic. And they're off. And it's Liam Smith, Fumano's Magic on the extreme outside. Here's Send It Mo in the red, coming through along the inside to battle with Liam Smith. Liam Smith maintains a comfortable lead, however, with Send It Mo, a length and a half back second. Straight buzzing a bit off the pace in third. Then it's Colleague fourth, 4 lengths off the lead. Fumano's Magic is next, a gap of 5 to My Boy Stan. And What a Gift at the back. Heading to the 3.5, and it is Liam Smith, the clear-cut leader, pursued intently by Send It Mo. These two have started to separate themselves from Straight Buzzin'. Fumano's Magic, 7 lengths off the lead, 3 lengths back to Colleague. My Boy Stan making up a little bit of ground, and What a Gift. Quarter of a mile to go, and Liam Smith has a 2 or 3 length lead now. Send It Mo trying his best, but has not made an impression yet on this front runner, Liam Smith, who is as sharp as a tack, widening with every stride. No close photos today. Liam Smith is all alone. He's going to win by over 10 lengths. Liam Smith jogs. Make it 12. Fumano's Magic second. What a Gift. My Boy Stan. Post time in 22 minutes. Off. American Glory. Here's Spearfish in the middle, and Tessuto is flashing that early speed too. Here comes Vancouver along the rail. So it's now Vancouver just in front, pressed by Tessuto. Those two stride for stride. 3 lengths back to Spearfish and American Glory. That pair followed by Enter the Dragon, and Proudly Hailed is at the back, 7 lengths off Vancouver, who takes him past a half-mile pole, pursued by Tessuto, keeping him honest in second. Another 4 back to Spearfish third. Then American Glory, Entered a Dragon, 6 off the lead, and Proudly Hailed. Rounding the far turn, it's Vancouver, still pestered by Tessuto. These two coming to the quarter pole, 1-2. 3 lengths back, Spearfish in third, joined now by Proudly Hailed. And Proudly Hailed takes third, coming after the leader, Vancouver, at the top of the stretch, who has shrugged off Tessuto and has a 3-length lead. Spearfish, and on the outside, Proudly Hailed keeps on coming. 16th pole, Vancouver all out. Spearfish, Proudly Hailed, and down on the inside, here comes Enter the Dragon. Here it is, photo, Enter the Dragon. What a rally under Armando Ayuso, nabbing him. In the gate. And they're off. Our Moonlight, here's Run a Mile in My Shoes up to take the lead. Shared Future sharing second with Our Moonlight, who comes through on the inside and will try to tackle Run a Mile in My Shoes. But Run a Mile in My Shoes is naturally quicker. Pereira now angles Our Moonlight to the outside second. A length and a half, Shared Future third. They're in almost single file. Time to Shine second to last, and Crossana is at the back. 4 lengths covers the field. Onto the backstretch, and it's the 2 favorites, 1-2. With Run a Mile in My Shoes, leading it by a length, tracked intently by Our Moonlight second. 3 more lengths to Shared Future, racing on the inside of Crossana, who is inched up, leaving Time to Shine at the back. Half-mile out, and it is Run a Mile in My Shoes, who now opens up. Run a Mile in My Shoes, aggressive, has suddenly put more than 4 lengths on Our Moonlight in second. It's another 5. Shared Future and Crossana and Time to Shine is basically being eased. They're coming to the quarter pole, and it's Run a Mile in My Shoes by 6 lengths. Our Moonlight second by the same margin. Crossana and Shared Future. Run a Mile in My Shoes with a commanding lead in mid-stretch. It's 7 lengths. Our Moonlight is clearly second, but has not gotten close to Run a Mile in My Shoes, who leads by 4.5 coming for the wire and is home free. Run a Mile in My Shoes all the way. Our Moonlight, Shared Future, Crossana. You're in the gate. And they're off. Bad to the Bones was quick out of the gate, but they all bunch up by the stands the first time, as Silly Rabbit is now up to take the lead, clearing over to be in front by half a length. Grandissimo moves up alongside in second. Then it's Prince Dolce under a nice hold on the outside, and Precision is just inside of him. Bad to the Bones now fifth, 6 off the lead, followed by 6 Magpies and Uncle Evko at the back. Silly Rabbit opens it up into the first turn, has a 3-length lead now on Grandissimo in second. Then comes Prince Dolce, kept in the clear, and at the rail it's Precision. Then Bad to the Bones fifth, 8 lengths off the leader. He is followed by 6 Magpies and another 2 to Uncle Evko. They're heading to the half-mile pole, and Silly Rabbit has a 4-length lead. Grandissimo Precision still second and third. Ricky Gonzalez and Prince Dolce, Red Silks fourth, as they're getting a little bit closer to Silly Rabbit, who is trying to get a breather into the far turn. Then Six Magpies, Bad to the Bone, and then Uncle Evco. They move into the far turn. Silly Rabbit, the leader. Prince Dolce moving in now. And here's Prince Dolce on the outside of Grandissimo. Those two head and head for second, trying to go by Silly Rabbit at the top of the stretch. Silly Rabbit drifts a bit wide, tries to sprint for home, pursued by Prince Dolce, who's still 2 lengths behind. And Six Magpies down the center, coming to the 16th pole. And Prince Dolce trying to get by Silly Rabbit. Prince Dolce, Silly Rabbit. Here is the line. Prince Dolce, it just seemed like he had him at all times, but only won by a head. Silly Rabbit was second. Behind them, it was Bad to the Bones in a battle with Six Magpies and Uncle Evco.
Naturally, I may be a little biased, but I have a feeling the reason why you tune into this seminar is to get meaningful handicapping information. And of course, I have a wide variety of guests. Some people are trainers, some people are jockey agents, and of course, you know the rest. But typically, they know a lot about their horses, but they don't know about the rest of the field. That's why I like handicapping guests who put in the hard work and try and find out from an unbiased basis who they might like in a particular race. And on today's card, we've got 4 stake races on today's 9-race card. So I've got the perfect guest to help us dissect what we might need for winning information. His name, Gino Buccola. Gino, welcome to the seminar. Happy Saturday.
Oh, happy to be here with you. We got some Kentucky Derby points up for grabs
sure do.
today.
20 in the Robert B. Lewis.
That'll be great. So we'll get to see things take shape. There were 2 Kentucky Derby points races yesterday.
Southwest Stakes at Oaklawn Park and the Withers.
I think one of the horses in the Southwest I prefer a little more than the other.
Who would that be?
Feels like a silent tactic, feels like a real top-tier contender. Then we have another one today at Tampa Bay Downs in the Sam F. Davis. So 4 points races in 2 days. Things take a good amount of shape, especially since we just lost the headliner, Ted Noffey, recently. We know he's going to be out of the mix. So I think right now a lot of people are kind of thinking Derby, and that's going to be our headliner today.
And Todd Fletcher certainly had a capable backup plan in terms of the horse that won the Holy Bull last weekend as well.
Yeah.
You were at Gulfstream Park 2 weeks ago for the Pegasus World Cup. Had you been to the Pegasus World Cup before?
Second time to Gulfstream. I went last year for the first time. It was an absolute
It's really
blast.
cool, isn't it?
Oh, and I got the chance to hang up in the Flamingo room also, so I got to help some of the folks put some wagers into.
Big handicapping tournament.
Struggled early part of the day, but had one nice price, and sometimes that's all you need to make the day a Destino d'Oro.
Okay.
So that was a nice one. Had some win money there. That helped things out a little bit, and got a chance to meet up with a lot of the folks. Got a chance to hang out with our buddy Tyler Frausto from First, who's going to be taking care of the contest today, that big NHC handicapping tournament.
Qualifier.
So it was a blast. Anytime I can get the chance to go out to Gulfstream, and I missed the cold weather. The last couple of weeks, people have been freezing, so I'm glad because I do not run that way. I'm out in California for a reason. It's got to be warm for me, above 50, 60 degrees, or else I'm in some trouble, Tom.
No need for cold weather concerns here. It's obviously beautiful conditions. Unfortunately, I don't want to pass it on to the rest of the country who's freezing, but we're in the high 70s, of course, as you can see on the TV screen, fast and firm. You know, Gino, today we have the Robert B. Lewis, and we also have the recently renamed D. Wayne Lucas. That used to be the Santa Monica. And it made my mind and our track announcer Frank Miramatti's mind kind of spin a little bit and try and tie some synergy together. And what Frank came up with was the 1996 Santa Monica, where Serena Song beat Exotic Wood. And of course, Serena Song, owned by Bob Lewis, trained by D. Wayne Lucas. And that was quite a race. And Frank remembers it very well, as do I. So rather than test your memory, we're going to show the full replay of the 1996 Santa Monica and honor the memories of both Robert B. Lewis, the owner, and D. Wayne Lucas, the trainer, who have 2 stake races named in their honor today, and watch Serena Song break from the rail inside post position and listen to Trevor Denman describe the action.
Deal for the Santa Monica sent on their way to a perfect beginning, and Serena's Song flies out the inside gate. Serena's Song goes straight for the lead, but Classy Kim now in the center of the track goes up to take over. They flying early. Exotic Wood is right there in third. Then back to Morpheme at the rail. Ballerina Gal between horses, and Top Rung is last. Only 6 lengths covers them all. They run past the 5/8 and Classy Kim, a half a length leader. Serena's Song now nice and relaxed, just tracking her in second. She's gone 2 in front of Exotic Wood. Top Rung has moved up 4th on the outside. Then Morpheme and Ballerina Gal. 6 lengths would still cover the lot. They run to the 3/8 and Classy Kim still at a fast pace. Serena's Song now starts to stick her neck out at the rail, and Serena's Song's kicking on for home. Exotic Wood on the outside, a close third, and 3 back to Top Rung. A quarter of a mile to go, and here's the match race we've been waiting for. Serena's Song at the rail, Exotic Wood on the outside. Classy Kim trying to hang tough between them. Serena's Song at the rail, Exotic Wood, they nose and nose. Classy Kim in a little tight. Serena's Song ahead. Exotic Wood all heart on the outside. Serena's Song has to call on all her class, and she's just got too much class. Serena's Song beats Exotic Wood.
Gino, if you looked up the word class in the dictionary, you would certainly see a picture of Serena's Song. She didn't break all that well from the rail. She was involved in a speed duel. Gary Stevens, ironically, never went to the whip hand rotor. Exotic Wood had the perfect trip, but didn't have the class to match Serena's Song.
If you panned to the crowd, you'd probably see a 9-year-old Gino Buccola somewhere in there jumping up and down. I absolutely was there that day. And if you were trying to pick something that reminded you of D. Wayne Lucas. Talk about having your pick of how many different ways you could have gone, right? How many different races you could have gone.
Course.
But that one with the tie to Robert B. Lewis fits so well. Nice call, Frankie. And don't forget about the print giveaway today. D. Wayne Lucas,
if
like
you're
a
on
headshot.
track, free giveaway.
Come out and get it if there's a picture of D. Wayne and a couple other pictures of some of the horses there too. So a great way to remember him as the 6th race now is going to be named in honor of him today.
You were in the media working for FanDuel Racing, which at the time was known as TVG. Did you ever have a chance to interact with D. Wayne Lucas, either on track or maybe behind the scenes?
A little bit, not as much as I would have liked to, but man, just such a character. Didn't hold anything back, told it exactly like it is. The one thing I will always remember just from him is if you're not in it, you can't win it.
Correct.
He would run his horses. He would run them in their spots. He would not worry about coming back in a week, 2 weeks quickly. If he thought they had a shot, if he thought the race fit, he would put him in it. And there were a lot of times where people were looking at him a little bit crazy going, this horse doesn't belong in that race. But even one recently, you think about a horse like Oxbow, who is a bigger price,
sure,
or horses who come back and wheel back quickly. I think there was a portion where things started to tread downwards. And then the last few years, it went back up again for him. He had really good horses and he was winning at the highest level. So just incredible, one of the all-time greats. And I mean, you could sit down and talk with anyone and they'll have so many different incredible stories about D. Wayne.
He was media savvy. And I remember the Breeders' Cup at Keeneland when he interacted and was co-host with Mike Joyce on the air. And Mike walked away from that experience telling everybody, my God, he's a natural. Like, he was so sharp at that older age, and still he was, right on point, basically going toe-to-toe with a young whippersnapper by the name of Mike Joyce.
Quick-witted. It wasn't a surprise. He was a great coach, basketball, and then was able to transfer some of that over to horse racing, and it was the same sort of methodology I think he had, and you heard it. And I think some of the things that he said for horse racing, they would work for whatever you were coaching, right? Whatever you were teaching, it was just sort of the methodology and taking a shot and, thinking that we belong, preparing, and then just knowing that you're well prepared when that time comes.
It was a program, basically like the Philadelphia 76ers, right?
Yeah.
Follow the process.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to follow the process of who Gino Buccola likes on today's 9-race card. He's done the work. He's been in the laboratory all week trying to find us winners. But before we find out who those horses might be, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the early changes on today's 4 stakes race card here at the Great Race Place.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place. The track is fast, the turf firm. Rail on the turf at 0 feet. Here are the changes. No changes in race 1, the beginning of the early pick 5. In the second race, early pick 4 wagering is offered, no changes, and there are no changes in race number 3. The fourth kicks off the $2 pick 6 on races 4 through 9. Again, no program changes. The fifth is the Thunder Road, start of the late pick 5 and the all-turf pick 3, which is on races 5, 7, and 9. No changes in the fifth. Race 6, the D. Wayne Lucas, formerly the Santa Monica, scratch number 1, Simply Joking. Late pick 3 wagering offered on the 7th, scratch number 1, Cullen J. The 8th is the Robert B. Lewis Stakes. No changes, $5 double wagering offered. And in the 9th, the Sweet Life, scratch 3, Yours Sincerely, super high 5 wagering is offered. Those are the early changes on today's program. We do have coast-to-coast pick 5 wagering. There was a big hit in the Sunset 6 yesterday, but the coast-to-coast pick 5 continues to pay well. It starts today at 2:18 Pacific with Gulfstream's 11th. Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the coast-to-coast pick 5. Good luck to all of you participating in contests today. And enjoy your afternoon at the Great Race Place. Tom Quigley's Corner is where we're going next. It's me, Gino B. Gino Buccola. You want to follow him on X, as you will also, among all the things on his feed looking right now, you will find great insight into previews, typically when he works with people such as Mike Beer and David Aragon of the Daily Racing Forum. You're in for a treat over the next 30 minutes. Let's go back to Tom and Gino.
Welcome back. We're talking horse with Gino Buccola. He's a handicapper, a podcaster. He does a number of different things. I'm sure you've seen him on social media. Gino, it was interesting. I was kind of scouring the internet the other day, and I saw that you were actually on Yahoo as well. You did a little bit of a preview with Angela Herman as well. But just never know where you might pop up on the World Wide Web.
Yeah, for Daily Racing Form, we were doing a show on the Sports Grid network too. So that was simulcast onto their network. We would do a weekend preview. That'll be on there. And then some of our Daily Racing Form previews will sometimes get sent to all different places. Sometimes Sports Illustrated and Yahoo and other places like that. So sometimes you'll see me all over the place. If you don't like me, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we got about 30 more minutes. And Frank got the check that I sent him in the mail.
No
so
kidding, right?
Thank you for the kind words, Frankie.
What a stroke fest that was. But nevertheless, we both love Daily Racing Form and Formulator. I don't know what we did before it. I mean, we're not just shilling for Daily Racing Form. It is an invaluable handicapping tool because not only can you extract information from it, you can input your own information into it. And then when the horse runs back next time, it appears magically in the past performances.
Yeah, you save your notes. So right after the race happens or before the race, you can remember exactly what you put in about that horse, if you
Whatever
like them or not. And then the database that we have goes back 5 years. Every statistic you can think of, you can get it exactly how you want. We actually send in formulator facts to the broadcast every day that come in the 6th race. We send them in. Shout out to Amy and Shiva and Brian, who I send those
all
into
the people who do
all the
hard
time.
Work behind the
they
scenes.
do a great job putting those all together for us. So the formulator facts are great. The pedigree information is great. And then what I'll also need to do is you can go to first.tv and check out the workouts. So that can be a tool for you. But what Formulator does, it just saves us so much time because instead of having 5 or 6 different screens up or different tabs up, we can do it all right there where we go from the stats to the pedigree, watch the replay, take a look at the chart, see how these horses have done coming out of their last races. It's awesome. Saves us a ton of time. Shop.drf.com if you want to check out DRF Formulator.
I'll give you one real world example that there's one of a zillion examples, but this would be an example where the morning line favorite is a trainer dropping a horse down from maiden special weight into maiden claiming. You mentioned the database covers 5 years. You can go back over that 5-year history for that particular trainer and see how the trainer does with that maneuver. Now, if you look at that and you see that the trainer is 0 for 25 with maidens dropping from maiden special weight to maiden claiming, and he or she is the morning line favorite, that's a bet against.
Absolutely.
You don't need to have a good memory. You can just look it up in the database.
Absolutely.
Those are the nuggets you're trying to find when you're using Formulator to try and handicap a race.
Yeah, and that's actually an angle our track announcer, Frank Miramonte, he does not like horses that are maidens dropping out of stakes back into maiden races. He would look something like that up too on Formulator and check it out. So it can what's nice is it can complement your handicapping, or it can kind of send you in the wrong direction. You can feel something right and then look it up and be very wrong about what you feel, but it can give you a small sample size. For example, there was even one we were looking at yesterday with Doug O'Neill, and I think first off the claim, Doug O'Neill over the last year was 0 for 22. But if you look at the last 5 years, he's actually an 18% trainer first off the claim. He's been awesome. It was just one of those weird stretches of numbers. Yeah. And yesterday he won with the horse first start off the claim. So once you can dive into it and you can really find things out, it is a great help for your handicapping.
And there's certainly plenty of opportunities to experience it free of charge. You'll see it promoted in Daily Racing Form, both in print and online. Make sure you take advantage of that. And I think you'll become a big fan of DRF Formulator once you're exposed to it. All right, Gino, we've got 9 races to get through, including race number 1, which begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. As I mentioned, fast and firm. Turf rail stood there at 0 feet. First race is on the turf, 1 mile the distance. Main special weight Calbred, fillies and mares, a field of 7. The current choice at 6-5 on the tote board is number 4, Suntory Time, at 6-5. Has had some trouble at the start, but we know that she has a late kick. Is today cap and gown day for her?
I don't know. There are 5 of these horses that all come out of that same race, that January the 8th race, and I don't know how strong it was. I think I prefer French Moonlight just coming out of that particular race, but the way I looked at the first, I don't know how much early speed in here there is. I really think it comes down to Jenny's Wine Girl and Danzig Till Dawn. Jenny's Wine Girl is drawn inside. You get Maldonado aboard, who is a much speedier rider versus Victor Espinoza. I think Jenny's Wine Girl is going to go. And in this type of a race where you have a lot of horses who want to come from way, way out of it, I like horses who are going to be forward, who are going to get the jump. I think the 5 is really interesting. A horse you want to use in your early pick 5s or some of those early wagers. Put a few bucks to win on this horse if we're getting the current price around 8-1. And I did like French Moonlight, who was about 4 lengths off, pushed through a tight spot up to 3rd, was just behind the leaders, and didn't really have a lot of room late to push through. through. And I think the margin is really close between French Moonlight and Sumptuary Time. But if French Moonlight had a little bit more room late, I think the margin may have been a little farther and French Moonlight might have looked even better on paper. So I'm going to go 5-3 in here. I do respect Sumptuary Time. Might just try to use those three maybe in an early pick 5.
8-1 currently on the tote board for Gino's top selection. Number 5, Jenny's Wine Girl, 9-1 now clicked up. And take a look at the breeding for number 3, French Moonlight, who is currently the 2-1 second choice. Very, very good breeding for a Calbred. You typically won't see this type of breeding for a Calbred. She's been a bit of disappointment up to this point, but this is just her second race since October, so perhaps she will improve. Race number 2 starts the 50-cent early pick 4, 5.5 furlongs on the main track, $10,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 races lifetime, field of 7, number 3. No More Ding Dongs is the 3-2 morning line favorite. First off the claim for trainer Chuck Treese. Give us your thoughts on race 2, Gino.
No More Ding Dongs is like the measuring stick for this race. If nobody jumps up and runs a great race, I think No More Ding Dongs probably wins it. But for me as a gambler, these horses that have been second a lot of times, I have a tough time if I can't make as much of an excuse for this one. I do think the cutback will help a little more punch, but really didn't have any excuses last time out. The horse who I'm going to put on top, I think will offer a little more value, is Magic Connection, the 2. I think he can sit and he can finish. He can sit close and he can finish. He's still lightly raced with upside. You go through his races, the first 2 races, I think he was in just a little bit tough against maiden 40s and maiden 50s. Then the drop down and the cutback in the third start. The 5.5, I think, was really key for him. The races where he's gone 5.5, you see in his third start at Del Mar, that was a good one. Again, 2 starts back at Los Alamitos, going 5 furlongs. I think that's really the key for him. So I think he'll be sitting close and hope he has a little bit of finishing here.
And if you take a quick look through the past performances for race number 2, you'll see Gino's top selection, number 2, Magic Connection, that he just talked about, is the only winner in the field at today's distance of 5.5 furlongs. Race number 3 is for maiden special weight, 3-year-old filly, sprinting 6.5 furlongs on the main track. We've got a field of 6. Number 2, Jasmine, coming off the long layoff for trainer Peter Urton, is the 9-5 morning line favorite. Talking about the DRF formulator database, Gino, I don't necessarily like this filly, but she's limitless. Is coming back in 7 days for trainer Bob Baffert. I looked it up in DRF formulator. You might have looked this up as well. Trainer Bob Baffert has only brought 1 horse the last 5 years back on 7 days race or less. The horse finished up the track. So a bit of an unusual move, certainly uncharacteristic for trainer Bob Baffert, but he does get the riding services of jockey Juan Hernandez. Talk to us about race 3.
Yeah, I went 1 to 10 days, and he's only had 2 horses in the last 5 years, just to see if a little bit more.
Right.
But this does not do this. You think he usually gives horses a little bit more time because they run so hard, they run so fast. He gives them a little bit more time. But if this is Jasmine, does that make me Aladdin? I guess so. So if you see me walking around, I'll sing A Whole New World to you. Ask Michelle Yu. She knows that. I definitely have done that before. But I have Jasmine in the second spot. I thought her debut race was fine. The Dam was a turfy horse, won on the grass. Horse had a slow start from the rail, does get the inside again. I think the Lasix will help. That race was back in August, and those top 2 horses were well meant. They both came out of that race and went into a stakes race. They haven't quite been as good, but they both were well meant at that time. The horse who I like is Piney Woods. Piney Woods and Feisty Redhead come out of the same race. I lean towards Piney Woods just because I thought she might be a little bit more value in here. She had a slow start from the rail, so she gets to go from the inside to the outside in here. She was about 10 lengths off. She moves to the 2 path just outside of Feisty Redhead, and she really got going while Redhead got the jump. I thought it was a very nice third with a big gallop out. I like the work on January the 24th, was working inside of a mate. I thought was very strong late, really nice. So I'm going to go Piney Woods and then Jasmine there, the number 2.
Race number 4 begins the $2 pick 6. We start with a fresh pool today, and we kick that wager off in race 4, sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track for maiden special weight Calbreds, 3-year-olds, field of 7. Take note, number 5, Parnelli Jones is a first-time gelding. Tommy Norris, the 2-1 morning line favorite, drawn right inside of him. 7 ways you can go here, Gino. Which way you going and why?
I think I'm more interested in here with the first-time starters, and I think there are a few of them that you can take a look to. Trojan Mafia. Hey, maybe that's a nod to Sammy Darnold for tomorrow. Shout out Sammy, the first ever USC quarterback to start in a Super Bowl. I could not believe that stat when I heard that.
And I don't hold me to this specifically, but I believe he's the first starting quarterback in the Super Bowl that's been with 5 different teams.
Yeah, unbelievable. Right? So good luck, Sammy, tomorrow. Trojan Mafia, the Dam won the debut by 6 lengths, earned a 93 buyer in the debut.
It's Southern California, right?
Going 5.5 furlongs, and then went right into was able to win the Grade 2 Hollywood Breeders' Cup Oaks at 1 mile and a 16th. That was a very nice horse. For Trojan Mafia, there were 10 siblings that have raced. 8 of them have won. 1 of them won the debut. 3 of them were stakes winners. You can take a look at the January 9th workout on First.TV, was working inside a mate, started just behind, was going best late over Darlin Sugary, who has been a maiden $32,000 winner. This barn, Jeff Mullins, is rolling right now. You don't really think about first-time starters, but he's super capable. I think I saw 7 for the last 76, like in the 9% range. What that tells me is that, very similar to the Bondi numbers, they're capable with the right type of horse. They're not necessarily going to crank them all up to be winning first time out, but if the horse is ready and good, they can absolutely win with them first time out. So it's Trojan Mafia on top. I'm also going to use Shady Gem, who I think is really interesting. Bondi 8 for 74 with first time starters last 5 years. That's 11%. There's a work on January 24th on First.TV where he was the fastest of 3. He was early good. He was strong late. He took the turn a little bit wide, but overall, I thought it was very, very good. 2 siblings, both of them just had 1 win. And I think my son is watching, so I may have to do this. 6'7", 6'7". I'm going 6'7" in this race.
Your son's a basketball player, I believe, too,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I think I recently saw a video of him on the court.
6 years old. He just had his first couple camps. He was player of the week last week, so learning to dribble, getting some shots up. Shout out Milo.
Spoken like a very loving dad, that's for sure.
Very proud dad, yep.
Yep. Race number 5 begins both the 50-cent late pick 5 as well as the $3 all-turf pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout. It's also the first of 4 stake races on today's card. It's the Grade 3 Thunder Road Stakes going 1 mile on the turf course. We've got a field of 5. Take note of the jockey in number 3, Watsonville. Antonio Fresu, welcome back to the saddle. This is his first comeback right after getting injured on opening week here at St. Anita. So good to see Antonio back in the saddle. Number 1, Gas Me Up, fresh off a victory coming down the hillside turf course for trainer Peter Urton is the 6-5 Maury Line favorite. Is there enough pace in this race to go with El Patente?
El Patente looks very tough. If you need some help with this race too, we do a preview of the late pick 5 on the San Anita YouTube every Friday night with Jeff Chappie. Shout out to Chappie up there and Artie. And we were talking about this race. It does seem like a great spot back for El Patente because I respect Gas Me Up and what Gas Me Up's been doing. But the question I'll ask, Tom, if you look at the races that Gas Me Up has been winning recently, look at the half-mile splits: 42.8, 45.91, 45.64, 45.81. Those are the races where he's winning the half-mile splits. Do you think they're going to be going that fast in this race?
No shot.
I'd say 47 and some change maybe, and I think that would still be fair. They could even go slower if El Patente wants to slow things down. So I think the complexion of this race is going to be dramatically different than that Hernandez was last time out down the hill. Because if you look at El Patente, was off from February to November. So shows back up in the Seabiscuit in November at Del Mar. And yes, he was favored, but no matter how good a horse you are, when you're off for that long, you're probably going to get a little bit tired at the end of the race. I don't care what level it is, how good you are. When you're going a mile and 16, you're probably going to get a little bit tired. That's what happened with El Patente. He cuts back down the hill. Can he sit off and pass horses? Yes, but I don't think that's where he's best. I don't think you want to really grab a hold of him and have him come and pass horses. In his last race, he moved he moved a little early into a very fast pace down the hill. This race is just going to set up very well for him. 3rd start off the bench. I'd love to see him out front getting a length on this field. There just doesn't seem like anyone that's naturally as quick as him. I think El Patente is a horse who I could single in a late pick 5 or a pick 6 situation right here, especially now that you've got those awesome late wagers of like the late pick 3, the $3 pick 3, and the double. If I get knocked out right here, I still got plenty of opportunities later in the card.
That's the beauty of it. They're the ultimate get-out wagers, that's for sure. Gino, I completely agree with your analysis. I do want to point out, though, however, for number 1, Gas Me Up, forgetting about the internal fractions that he's been running against. In his last 5 starts, he's won 3 of them. The 2 that he's lost to notable speech. All that horse did was win the $2 million Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Mile at Del Mar this past November. So he's keeping some pretty good company when he's not winning.
I have no disrespect for Gas Me Up at all. I just think in the small field, the complexion going to be a little bit different. Feels like this is the perfect time for El Patente to get back into the winner's circle. I couldn't really get too cute in that race either. It was just 4-1 for me. I didn't quite think the other 3 classed up with those top 2.
Completely agree with you. Race number 6 is the D. Wayne Lucas Stakes. It's a Grade 2 event. $200,000 guaranteed is the purse. It's for fillies and mares. Sprinting 7 furlongs in the main track. Race 6 also begins the popular 50-cent late pick 4. Scratch the 1. Simple Joking leaves us with a field of 6. Maury Line favorite number 5. Splendora, fresh off her victory in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint at Del Mar in the first weekend of November. 4-5 on the morning line. I'm anxious to hear who you like in this race because I have an opinion about Splendora, but you go first. You're the guest.
Yeah, what's tough for this race for me is I like Simply Joking a little bit. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on where she shows up next. I thought she had a little bit of trouble in that last race. She's out. So I kind of by default go into Splendora, who is the tip top of the Breeders' Cup, tip top of the division, Filly and Mare Sprint winner. Was interesting going into the Breeders' Cup, she had never won a graded stakes race, which is just remarkable.
Just
and then
overnight stakes, yeah.
Wins the Breeders' Cup at 5-2. But if you look at the horses that she had been defeated by, Seismic Beauty, Ricci, Copian, Kinza, all just incredible
Monsters.
fillies and mares, like really, really tip-top horses. So I respect her a lot. I do think Formula Rossa is interesting, but yeah, like a little bit less of a strong opinion for me in this race after the scratch of Simply Joking.
I'll tip my hand here a little bit, and so I'll pretend that I'm the guest and give you my opinion.
Please do. I'll play host then. I'll put the host hat on.
But don't ask me too many tough questions. Splendor, I certainly respect her, and she is the mare to beat. She's the only one who's won at the 7 furlong distance. But if you look at her past performances, she has 5 career wins. 4 of them occurred over the Del Mar racing surface. We're not at Del Mar today. We're at Sandy. This is her first start in 2026. I'm sure they're pointing for a repeat of the Breeders' Cup effort again. Will they really have her fully cranked up today? I don't know. But the interesting filly, in my opinion, is number 3, Me and Molly McGee. Here's the reason why. Her last race was not good. She got vanned off, as a matter of fact. But it was the grade 1 test. Peter Urton thought that he could basically compete with those fillies. And she ran well for a half mile. And then obviously something happened. But why does Peter Urton bring her back here? He knows that he's going to run against Splendor. He could have entered this filly literally anywhere across the country. He has barns in Kentucky. He has stalls at the fairgrounds. He decides to bring her back here. She's got early speed. She's got Hector Barros in the saddle. If she's going to upset Splendor, today might be the day. She's only 5-1 on the morning line. I think she's going to drift up because of the last running line. But I just find it from a management standpoint that Me and Molly McGee is certainly getting a vote of confidence from her trainer, Peter Urton.
3 nice races to begin her career. She's been working steadily through November, December, January to prep for this. The January 11th work with Nesso's Last Hurrah was very nice. That's a stakes caliber horse. The February 1st work was very, very nice. This horse looks like she's ready to fire. Timeform US has her projected as the fastest horse in the field. They think she gets the lead in here. And even when it's a smaller field now, you just take a contender out with Simply Joking, right?
Correct.
A horse who could have been close and could have been sitting. If she's able to clear and maybe Splendora and Formula Rossa sit back a little bit, if she gets in front of No Bad Beats, I like what you're doing there, Tom.
I'm a contrarian, that's to say the least. Race number 7 begins at $3 late pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout. We're going 1 mile on the turf course for Calbred, allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. This race also scratched the rail. Number 1, Colin J, leaves us with a field of 7. Number 7, Warm Sun and Brew, is the 9-5 morning line favorite. In his short career, he's really done nothing wrong. You like the favorite here? You're looking elsewhere, Gino.
What is interesting about this race is a little less so with the scratch of Colin J, but the top 4 betting choices now, the top 3, are all horses who I think want to be forward and want to be close up. So that's Sir Percival, Straight Up Country, and Warm Sun and Brew. I think of those 3, Warm Sun and Brew might be the most likely to sit off, drawn towards the outside, has shown he can sit off a little bit, but he is stretching back out from a sprint. So he might just be naturally a little bit closer up in here. I wanted at least to have 1 closer in this race because I think there are definitely versions of this race where Sir Percival's going, Straight Up Country's going, and Warm Sun and Brew is forwardly placed. And those 3 horses push each other. And then you kind of start to wonder who of the closers do you really like, right? But I go to Freeport Joe. This horse is a 9-year-old, and he is 0 for his last 17. I generally am not picking horses like this on top. But if you go through those 17 races, almost all of them do not set up well for this horse. A lot of them you see with horses like Vodka, who they may run in the big cap. Vodka, who is in fantastic form. He sits close in his races where Kings River Knight is in there. He's 13 for 20, one of the better Calbreds we've ever seen. He won 8 of his last 9 races. There was never any speed battles in the races he was in. He would just get the lead. He would cruise. Nitty was a horse who came out of that race to win the Grade 3 San Juan Capistrano. Freeport Joe was facing open company before that. Horses like Lamas in graded stakes races. He has faced, I think, a lot better company than this particular race. And this is one of the first races in a long time that could set up for him. So in a late pick 4, pick 5 situation, he's absolutely a horse I want to have because I think there could be a speed battle. I like the 2 Sir Percival of the speed horses the most. I actually thought he fought on pretty well there. And so I'll go 8 and 2 as my top 2 selections, hoping that this pace gets quick early on and melts down.
Race number 8 is the Robert B. Lewis Stakes. It's a grade 3 event for 3-year-olds going 1 mile on the main track and awards 20 Kentucky Derby points. Bob Baffert has won this race 7 straight years. Race 8 also begins the $5 late daily double with a reduced 15% takeout. Bob Baffert has 3 runners in here, the inside 3, including the morning line favorite, number 1, Desert Gate, at 6-5 on the morning line. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Gino, a couple of videos to look at. First of all, a workout here for the comebacker Desert Gate. This This workout was back on January 31st, his most recent workout. This is him down on the inside. Of course, the concern would be how cranked up is he going to be today? I think he is going to be fairly cranked up because he's never finished out of the money. He's had 4 career starts, 2 wins, 2 seconds. Arguably, he was best in the Grade 1 Del Mar Futurity 2 races back. He had to miss the Breeders' Cup because of an injury, but I think he's hitting on all cylinders here. The rail dry, I think, is perfectly fine going 2 turns. There is another runner we'll look at a little bit later who's going to be his main competition, but I thought this race was very functional. Litmus test, you can see his workmate here on the outside was supposed to run in the Southwest and was declared out of the race yesterday, but considering the company he's keeping, considering how easy he's doing it, Gino, I think he's ready to fire a good shot today.
Yeah, and what's interesting about this work and the 2 works prior to it, so really to January 17th, the 25th, and the 31st, they're almost identical when you watch them. In all of the works, Desert Gate is inside of the mate. Desert Gate is quicker early or starts with a little bit of an advantage, and then the workmate will get up close to even terms and Desert Gate will kick away. And he draws the inside in here. It just looks on paper like he could get the same type of trip he's been getting in these workouts.
It's kind of like a simulated race in the morning.
Yeah, and there's not that much other early speed in here. I think it really comes down to him in Robusta. He's drawn to the inside. I feel like he's going to hold that position. He was supposed to run in the Breeders' Cup. They were trying to point him there. He scratched a little before. He probably would have been the 3rd or 4th choice in the Breeders' Cup. I mean, he was a major player heading into it, and I respect the heck out of him. I think it's a good spot for him down on the inside again, and even a little thing like the mile versus a mile and a 16th or a mile and 8th, Correct. A little bit of a shorter distance for him after a few months off. So he's going to be a short price, but he's not a short price that I'm going to check out. I think he's going to run well in this spot.
And a good starting point for Desert Gate if he goes on the Santa Anita Derby and the Kentucky Derby Trail. Another horse who's looking to follow in that same trail is number 7, Secured Freedom, the runner on the bottom. He's only had 2 career starts. He's never routed. But let's go back and watch his maiden victory on career start number 2. It was opening day. It was race number 2. He's going to be wearing saddlecloth number 3. Let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action and watch Secured Freedom break his maiden.
And they're off. Winston Ave had a clean start. Captain Shreve is quickest, and Plagiarist is matching strides with him. They're both joined by Commissioned, and 3 of them vie for command. Secured Freedom is now in 4th. Winston Ave at the rail. Asked for a little bit more speed, but just 4 lengths off the pace and another 2.5 to Liam Smith. They head to the half-mile pole, and it is 2 first-time starters vying for command. Commissioned a little bit quicker, racing on the inside of Captain Shreve, and Plagiarist is in between those 2. It's another 3 back to Secured Freedom. Down at the rail comes Winston Ave, who's now 5 lengths off the lead, and 2 more back to Liam Smith. Midway on the far turn, and the battle continues. It's Captain Shreve and Commissioned. Captain Shreve has the advantage at this stage. Good run from Secured Freedom getting into the race in 3rd. And Winston Ave is last in between horses, trying to pick it up late. They have 1 furlong to go. And here comes Secured Freedom on the outside. And Secured Freedom has collared and takes command over Captain Shreve in 2nd. It's Secured Freedom by 3 close to home, and Secured Freedom wins convincingly under Kazushi.
Gino, as we watch the gallop out here, 1:15 and change is what Secured Freedom stopped the clock at, going 6.5 furlongs. The question is, can he get 2 turns? Well, if you continue to watch this gallop out, I think the evidence is fairly clear that perhaps he will relish the mile distance going 2 turns. The concern, he's got an outside post, but he did earn a 2 on the Thorograph sheets in career start number 2. That tells you right off the bat he's got ability.
Yeah, that 88 buyer, I believe, is the co-top buyer in the field with Desert Gate for the best speed figure that anyone has. What I really liked is he got a great setup in that race, right? So he was getting a perfect trip, but when he struck the front, he was like looking like he was having a tough time switching leads, and then boom, you saw him switch leads and really get into a nice stride and straighten out. And that just means to me he wants to go longer. And I think when you watch the debut race, it was the exact same sort of thing. He had a slow start, he made a move, then he looked like he was backing up, but he came on again. And that always tells me that these horses want to go a little bit longer. You watch his workouts on First.TV 2 times in a row with the horse named Cowboy Mike. And that one on January 31st, he started 2 back of Cowboy Mike. He loomed up and he drew away. It was very, very strong. I think Secured Freedom is going to run a big race. I think he could sit like 3rd or 4th in here, stretching out, not have to be too far out of it in a race where maybe Desert Gate goes, Robusta goes. I'd love to see him sit maybe right in behind there with Cherokee Nation, wherever he lines up.
We close out an excellent day of racing in race number 9 with our 4th and final stakes race. It's the Sweet Life Stakes coming down the Hillside Turf Course for 3-year-old fillies. Race number 9 also offers $1 Super High Five wagering. Scratch the 3 leaves us with a field of 11. Number 6, Hamika, first time on the turf for trainer Bob Baffert, is a 3-1 morning line favorite. A lot of different and creative ways you can go here, Gino. Talk to us about the nightcap.
And what's interesting about this race, it's that unique downhill turf course. Nobody's been down it. Not one of these fillies has ever been down that unique hill turf course. So we're kind of projecting, we're guessing who we think may like it. I do think Hamika is a horse who you want to include. I almost wonder if she's in this race even less for turf than for distance. Just the way that the race shapes up, the 6.5 furlongs, you can look at her form overall. The 7 furlong races just look a little too far. The mile and the 16th, you can probably eliminate that. If you do that and you cross those 3 races out, all of a sudden the form looks much, much better for her with wins at 5 furlongs, 6 furlongs, and 6 furlongs. Remember, Curlin was second in a grade 1 on the turf too, so I don't think turf should be a problem. The horse who I'm intrigued by is actually the 7, Struck By Her, and I think she will offer you some nice value because she didn't get a big speed figure for her first start in the U.S., but it was visually very good. I thought she was last of 9. She was about 4 lengths off. She moved up, traveling really well. She had to angle around 5 wide when she got a little bit of room in front of her. She really reached out. I think Struck By Her is going to be a very interesting price play to include. So I will have the 7 and the 6. Probably use 1 or 2 others. Both the inside horses are kind of price horses to maybe include in your late pick 4s or 5s.
Gino, it's always a fast-moving 40 minutes whenever you're my seminar guest. Thanks so much for putting in the hard work. Hopefully those of us who didn't put in as much work can benefit from your insight. But thanks again for everything you do for horse racing, and keep up the great work.
Yeah, happy to be here with you anytime. Good luck to all the contest players. Big NHC game today. And then don't forget, Pick'em contest today and tomorrow. Pick'em.sananita.com. Got to get all my plugs in here, Tom.
And speaking of plugs, 2 more plugs to talk about. The Coast to Coast Pick 5. Did you see the payout yesterday? It paid $6,000 on a $1 bet. Today's Gulfstream Park Race 11 is the kickoff race for the Coast to Coast Pick 5. That'll be at 2:18 p.m. Pacific time. And the Sunset 6 starts fresh. Yesterday's payout, $52,000 to 2 winning ticket holders. Again, $1 minimum bet with a low 15% takeout. Thanks for watching, everybody. Really enjoyed having you come along with us. Keep in mind, tomorrow, big game Sunday. First post early, 11 a.m. Pacific time. Seminar starts 9:50 a.m. Have a great afternoon and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. Track is fast, turf is firm. Track conditions brought to you by John Deere. The rail on turf is at 0 feet. Here are the changes, not many. No changes in race 1. No changes in race 2. Nothing in the 3rd. The 4th starts to pick 6 on races 4 through 9. In the 5th race, the Thunder Road Stakes, no changes. In the 6th, scratch 1, Simply Joking. The 6th is the D. Wayne Lucas. In the 7th, scratch 1, Cullen J. Race 8